see if this thing will stay steady now. I had to reset all of my internet stuff. I think part of the problem was that I am streaming in Springfield, Missouri today. I'm parked at one of our terminals, and my genius of a phone, which I'm using as my Wi-Fi hotspot source, conveniently randomly decided to connect to the Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi where I am is very low signal, and it's not very high upload. So when it switches to the Wi-Fi, my connection goes all buggy. So I don't know how long it's been on Wi-Fi, and I don't know how well it's been running on Wi-Fi. I've turned the Wi-Fi off, but the stupid thing, apparently, when it detects a network it's familiar with, thinks, oh joy, let's go ahead and connect to this. And honestly, right now that I'm back online, I don't know if I can change that setting without fucking up the stream again. No, that's not what I wanted. On the bright side, when the VODs upload, I'm going to have like 3 or 4 episodes to play with. The longest one was only a little over 2 hours. And I was just so proud. I'd gone for the last 40 minutes and finally found something new and interesting. I'm really hoping the VOD is not, half frames. So I'll be so disappointed, because part of the reason I wanted to play this game here today is because I have an incoming call from a number I don't recognize. Part of the reason I wanted to play this here today is because I have such good signal over the air on my hotspot. And I've been really wanting to play this game and stream it so that I could save the VODs and upload them to my YouTube and whatnot. And if it spent the last 40 minutes running on the cruddy Wi-Fi signal out here I didn't want it to be on, I don't know how well that video is going to come out. I'd be very disappointed if it's half frames. You end up with a 20-minute video that's unwatchable, because I've had that happen. I had a Minecraft video from a couple weeks ago where I played for an hour and a half and it posted like 40 minutes. And I was like, holy crap. Because from my end, there's no way to know. You set it up, you do all the speed tests, it all looks good, but I have 1 or 2 viewers at a time. And somebody mentioned during that Minecraft stream that it was dropping considerably, but I couldn't see it. I'm not a pro. I'm running off an Xbox and my phone's hotspot. I'm mobile. I'm in a truck. And I'm always streaming from different places with different internets. I'm not your standard streamer by any means. And realized I was on Wi-Fi. I was unhappy. Normally, I'd prefer Wi-Fi because it would save a heck of a lot of my data. But where I'm currently parked, there just isn't enough Wi-Fi. It's 1 bar, and it's only a couple meg upload if you can connect to it at all. It's low signal where I am. If if I was in a different position on the lot, closer to the building, I could probably stream on the Wi-Fi, and I could probably do it at a fairly decent bit rate, but I'm just wasting some time right now to try and watch my phone and make sure the bitch stays on cellular. Because now that I've realized it was doing that, I don't trust it. Give me a minute just to make sure I think everything is going to stay stable. I'm going to continue on. I just found a new branching path, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Be right back. Okay. Everything seems to be holding stable. So I'm going to go ahead and start where I left off. And hopefully we can go for another couple hours maybe. I haven't decided how long I want to stream this. I'm not sure how long the game is. Okay. Anyway, I had just remembered that behind the train depot was a branching path I had completely forgotten about. And while I was lost and running around in circles trying to figure out where to go next, the path was here. Sweetheart, go lay down. I know. That's interesting. Okay, so what is over here? Is there anything over here? Okay, this looks like this is probably where you go through the barrier to get to that place above the bridge I've been trying to get to for the last 40 minutes. So I'm gonna go and look and see what's in that mine first. Just don't... There's a lot of invisible walls. Okay. So we have this mine, which I think goes into the back of Farley's house. Ooh. It does. Okay, I probably need that number now for so-called Farley's Vault. 6341. 6. one. Aha! I knew that would eventually come in handy. I didn't even need that Varian goop code. This is cinematic. A little hand-drawn map of the place. Wall, tower, wall, rail yard, bleeder. That big electrical thing is called the bleeder. Watersource Falls, CW, I have to remember that, that's his name, is CW. Entry Canyon, where everyone comes in apparently. That giant thing is the battery, so I have to figure out how to get a cable to it, I guess. Bosk, Plateau, Supplies Field, Scrapyard. That appears to be the number 15, but I think it's also a gloop. It probably means something. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. If I connect all three of those, I don't want it to go over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Connect these three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That seems like it's probably important. Oh boy. I shall document the curious events that have transpired with myself, my family, friends, and co-workers. Hartwell was a peaceful mining town founded by my grandfather and nestled within the red rock of the desert in the Arizona Territory. Its 163 inhabitants heard a mighty explosion on the night of June 27th, 1903. I sent several workers through the town to verify that the explosion had not caused any injuries or damage to mining equipment. They returned and reported that it must have been a loud clap of thunder caused by dry lightning, for they found no damage. It was not until the light of the next morning that we were amazed to realize something profound had indeed occurred. At some point during that night, our entire mining facility and a large circle of the land around it seemed to have been scooped up and carried off to a completely different place, all without anyone knowing about it. Interesting. The entire landscape outside of our circle of desert could only be described as alien. Large floating rocks could be seen in the distance. No one had ever seen anything like it anywhere on Earth. We fully explored our new surroundings, hoping to find a way home. No way home was ever found. In fact, we soon discovered that what we take for granted now. Not only could we not get back home, we also could not access the landscape outside the desert. Curiously, we discovered that a flow of water was provided from a high point of rock, and we discovered a small tree growing in the very center of the circle. Our central tree that is so important to our lives here was just a mere sapling back then. Species description. Ooh. Ooh. How do I go back? I want to go back to the beginning. This is a very long notebook. Hold on. Can I start over? How do I go back? Not that way. It was describing the species of aliens. I don't know how to go back in the notebook. I want to go back. Crap. Well, that was the description of aliens. Communication, talking with our neighbors. We take communication for granted even with the very languages we find here in Hunrath. When we suddenly find ourselves among other intelligent species who don't share our culture, history, DNA, or vocal cords, requires a huge amount of effort for the beginning of rudimentary chatting. This quick overview will set the stage for what to expect when communicating with neighbors. The Mofang were the first non-humans we met, with at least some level of similar physical vocal generating abilities. They picked up human words quickly. This early mimicry resulted in what the species became to be called. Even though they were able to mimic single words, simple phrases became evident over the years that huge grammatical differences were not easily overcome. Some have proposed that the difficulty may have arisen because the Mofang insisted on attempting to learn every human language, and as a result were never able to lock onto any consistent grammatical structure. Nevertheless, in spite of the rudimentary sentence construction, it has been very easy to communicate and has been unnecessary for us to learn their language beyond a few simple phrases and proper names. The Vilain have presented a particular communication challenge. From what we can gather, they produce sounds using two large reed-like structures inside opposite sides of their heads. The vibrations generated are channeled to resonance chambers in their skulls, where they are combined into a complex low-frequency dual tone. The low-frequency bitonal sounds are not only hard for humans to hear and resolve, but impossible for us to mimic. And the Vilain's hearing is also oriented toward low frequency, so they are unable to hear most of the sound associated with human speech. Therefore, communication with the Vilain relied on technology. Consoles, which the Vilain fluently control with vocalization for use by other species. Over the years, some individuals of other species, including a few humans, have learned to communicate very effectively using this method. Humans have been able to pick out some higher frequency characteristics of certain key villain words, Vilain words over the years. And although we can't speak to them in a way that the Vilains can understand, we are occasionally able to hear and recognize these words when spoken distinctly by the Vilain. If you'd like to learn more about communication, contact Vito. Arai. None of the stages of the Arai morphology have any vocalization apparatus because of the obvious synchronization of the barnacle flash and the ability of the pawns to provide for an address. To provide for and address the needs of the polyarchs, it was assumed that the species could communicate effectively. God, for a mining town, they sure sound like scientists. It was not until Farley began to spend large amounts of time in the polyarch antechamber that the first clues to this communication became evident. After months of research, Farley began to have limited success with receiving some kind of simple messages that were coming from the polyarchs. It is apparent now that the polyarchs had been attempting to communicate the entire time, but they themselves had been experimenting with various channels until they finally got a response from Farley. After this breakthrough, others were able to tune in to the polyarchs and learn to listen. Both the polyarchs and the pawns have a simple organ that can sense human vocal frequency, enabling them to sense simple responses from humans. But over the years, Farley was able to learn to speak to the polyarchs via a related form of extrasensory transmission. Is that it? That's it. Boy, oh my goo. Seeds. Excuse me? seeds. Ambassador seeds. Ambassador seeds were first documented about 150 Earth years ago, and they occur about once every 400 days if the trees remain healthy. Natural seed swaps occur between pairs of seeds that we now know dropped simultaneously from healthy trees, and paired sphere. When each seed was touched by a species in sphere, the swap occurred, sending an ambassador from each sphere to the paired sphere. The location of the swap is defined by the locations of the pairs of the seeds. After the first swap, the seeds recharged quickly, allowing for a quick return. First meetings were intense, but naturally short. It was quite a surprise for both the Mofang and us. Over time, the seeds required more time to recharge, producing longer visits between species. Everyone who arrives is familiar with the collector's seeds, the bright light that we were all drawn to right before the event that brought us here is a collector seed. What new arrivers may not be aware of is that these seeds, like all seeds, come in pairs. When the tree drops a collector seed on the ground, it signals that its twin has begun its quest for a new being. That search may take hours or it may take years. When an appropriate situation, a natural threat of death, is found, the seed activates and swaps a smaller but varying sized sphere from Earth or whatever appropriate homeworld here to Hunrath. Interesting. So it found me and it teleported me in the campsite. As Hunrath became more populated, we would watch for a newly dropped collector seed, collect it, and place it in the entry canyon area. This allowed us to provide a more predictable entry experience for new arrivers and provide a single area to collect any resources that may have come along with the new arriver. So that's why there's little pockets of places, because these seeds found stuff. So like a seed found the house and brought it through. A seed found the gas station. You found someone in the gas station and brought it through. A seed apparently found a sailor on a Soviet submarine and brought a chunk of the entire submarine through. And one found a pilot in a plane and brought his plane through. And that was all before they were like, we should start putting these things in one place so we stop having some random shit just showing up like a train yard randomly in our dome. Unlike ambassador seeds and mother seeds, collector seeds do not seem to survive. The inner core is spent, leaving only the lifeless outer husk. Mother seeds. Postulated but unverified. First suggested by Alima Hamsa, 2232 BH. The notion of mother seeds extrapolates the behavior of the lesser seeds to a super seed. She posited that the process that actually created the paired spheres was similar to all other swaps, but on a much grander scale. Oh, and that giant ball thing, that had to be a dome, a sphere that was brought through. So if a sphere appears here, they said they're partnered. So that means that whatever's in the same space as the sphere on this side gets teleported to the other side when they swap. So whatever was in the entry canyon before I got here is now in a random campsite next to a lake somewhere on Earth. The submarine would have come through with a bunch of water. That's why there's a circle around the plane, because it came through with air. Interesting. Oh, the ideas of two seeds from Mother Tree were scattered on the galactic winds to find appropriately similar environments. When matches were found, some process was triggered that swapped large portions of landscape between vastly different worlds. Alima further noted that the tree's locations in the center, the The tree's location in the center of the sphere suggested that the trees grew from these mother seeds. So what they're saying is that a mother seed probably landed on Earth in their mining town one night, found it suitable, teleported the entire town. Because of the similarities, it's been conjectured that reswapping the entire environmental spheres might be possible. A larger scale version of the ambassador seed machine. That's the last page. Interesting. I like the sci-fi essence of this game. It's very different. What? Oh, this is a projector. Interesting. It's circling something next to the tower behind the tree. Interesting. Welcome! Welcome to Hunrath. Please give us a bit of information about you so we can get to know you a little better. Emptied and filled. Those are battery levels. AH. Samuel Carson, January 2017. Madagascar. He had just arrived and was driving my supply truck along the coast south of Manakara when I recall being washed away and the seed appeared. I don't know what accent that is. I don't know what a Madagascar accent is. I don't even read that name. Something Rojinibogen, 1942, from Lübeck, Germany. The last thing I recall, what is this? That is not German. That was freaking Indian. The last thing I recall is a large rumbling while I was hiding in the cellar of a vacant building. I ran toward a bright light in the stairwell. 1942, so that was World War II. Maria Gallego, Cozumel, Mexico. On my boat and bad storm, and that's all she wrote. I didn't read that one. March of 2042, Portland, United States of America. Skiing on Mount Hood. That's informative. 1942 and 2042. 1988. - 2017. Interesting. Oh, it's a teddy bear. What is this? Hello? Is that it? Well, this is exciting. Oh.
Well, I feel like I should say something. We haven't heard from Shavar. So, well, so we assume that Shavar, well, that the attack is inevitable. We just don't know when. So, Shavar and her family, and others she trusts, I guess.
Ah! Sorry, I hit a button.
Well, they'll arrive when they can, without giving, like covertly. So the plan will happen, in spite of our, we're locking down as much as possible here and moving everybody out. CW will stay here, and I'll go to Murray at the last possible moment. Most are gone. There's just a few left here now. The mayor got out early. I don't even know why I'm recording this. It's like somehow we'll live on or something. I guess this has meaning if someone listens, but who? A new one? A new arriver. Oh, God, the kiosk out front. I need to update that message.
That it then? Where could they have gone? If they thought they were having an imminent threat from the aliens, where would they have gone? Unless there's something else I haven't learned about the way that the sphere works yet. I go out one side, I reappear on the other side of the same dome. So, where could they have gone? Wouldn't they have just... I mean, that's why they call it the cell, because you can't get out of it. Interesting. They went somewhere. W's obviously here. And he's trying to get out. But at the same time, they're talking about this battle, like the war is coming from like one of these alien species, and that they had this plan. Everything's covered up, but it's not like broken. So whatever battle they were expecting, maybe it didn't happen because nothing's broken. 1 seed pair. 2 find planets with similar atmospheres. 3 swap. 4 tree from seed ? What happens at fruition? Swap where, home, when, maybe dead. More seed pairs scattered throughout the universe? ? Why scattering ? Heart connected path open when mature. Heart superposition. 4 species meet. Earth and Soria. So are we on Soria then? We got swapped from Earth. My brother, small, something, I can't read all of it. But at the bottom it says, it's something, basically it says be quiet.